Hey there, how there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another second and 10 of football. We are finishing off our AFL recreations from 1960 to 69. We have the final 10 teams in the AFL, and unlike the AAFC, when they merged some teams with the NFL, not all the teams merged with the NFL, but these 10 teams did. They add they added three more teams. That's Pittsburgh, if I remember correctly. Pittsburgh, who else moved? Baltimore and Cleveland joined these 10 teams to make the AFC. So all the AFL guys in the three NFL teams, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Baltimore, to make the AFC. And then the NFC was all the other NFL teams. The fact of the matter was that we got to 26 teams. So these guys will finish their last AFL year. Now, there is a hitch. If the Kansas City Chiefs do win this AFL recreation, they will be placed with an X. What happens is that all the non NFL such AFL leagues, the AAFC in the 40s, the two World Football League teams in the 70s, USFL 3 seasons in the 80s, the World League of American Football 91, the UFL in 2010, the XFL 2001, and UFL Europe from 97 to 2007. Um, are all played in one little tournament, and the 48 Browns with the 1999 Rhine Fire qualified for my 128 team tournament. The 128 team tournament will consist of those two teams, all 59 Super Bowl winning teams and Super Bowl losers. So you have 118 teams. So, like, each franchise usually gets one spot in the Super Bowl appearance. However, there is one tiny little problem because we know that four NFL teams have never had a trip to the Super Bowl. That is Detroit, Cleveland, Jacksonville, and Houston, which is weird because Detroit and Cleveland are good teams. So Detroit and Cleveland are got their 57 and 64 teams, the last team to win the NFL respectively, in there and all that. Now that could change depending on what the 30s and 40s bring with the Lions. If the Lions team does win any of the 30s or 40s things, then they will take over there, and then the 50s will be wide open for Cleveland to take part in their tournament and maybe free up something from the 60s. Who knows? But Jacksonville and Houston are going to be waiting. Jacksonville's best team is the 99 team that won the number one seed in the AFC, and then all of a sudden they fell flat in the AFC title game. Despite beating Dan Marino in the divisional round, sending him to retirement, they lost to Tennessee, the only team to beat Jacksonville during the regular season. Well, Tennessee was in the same division as Jacksonville, so they met twice in the divisional thing, and then in the AFC title game. The Texans will be represented by the 2019 squad because that team beat Buffalo in a wild and crazy wild card game. And then they had a massive 20-point lead on Kansas City in the divisional round, but choked it. So those two teams are in. So, of course, those a team from the 30s and 40s as well. And then two teams from the men AFL tournament. Every AFL the first 6 years, the prior to the Super Bowl year, 60 to 65, get their team in. Houston actually went undefeated, but San Diego won the postseason tournament. So both Houston and San Diego in the 61 squads will make it. Um, then the last 4 years were Super Bowl years for AFL versus NFL. The 66 and 67 matchups were won by the teams that went to Super Bowl 1 and 2 as the AFL representative of Kansas City and Oakland, respectively. However, the Raiders of 68-69 beat the 69 Jets, so they're in the tournament. So we have 8 teams in the tournament. We could see a ninth, but only if Kansas City does not win. We're gonna all play the season. Make sure we don't fuck this up. All right, standings. The Jets are the only team above 500. In the East and the West, we have 3 teams above 500. San Diego's 8-4-1. They're huge. So Yeah, so Denver and Cincy are definitely not making it in. Boston and Miami are definitely not going to make it in. Yeah, it looks like Oakland and the Jets again. But man. But actually, Houston's matchup is very critical because if they don't do well, then you got problems. So let's see. Oakland, Kansas City, San Diego. Well, Oakland plays Kansas City, and Oakland's now 13-1. If they were undefeated, they probably would have gotten in. Well, they didn't represent the AFL in the Super Bowl, so Oakland would have gotten in. The Jets, their game doesn't matter. They lost to Miami. It didn't really matter. Buffalo, San Diego. As San Diego beat Buffalo, Denver beat Cincy, but that didn't matter. And Boston beat Houston. So, what does that mean? With those 5 games. The Jets won the AFC East. Buffalo 6-8. Houston 5-1. Oakland won the West. Kansas City beat San Diego for second place. Chargers are 9-4. So yeah, the Chargers and Chiefs tie for second at 9-4-1. I mean, I'm not going to deny a team that went 9-4-1 a trip to the playoffs. So that means Houston will get lucky and get in as the second. So there's 2 wild cards per. Because I would have to cut San Diego flat, wouldn't I? Yeah, 2 wild cards because of how good Kansas City and San Diego were. And Denver gets to host the championship. Well, Denver will only get to host because they're not in it. Yeah, Denver didn't qualify, so Denver is allowed to host the tournament, the final. All right, so Houston will go to Buffalo, San Diego goes to Kansas City. Here we go. The Bills make me wanna kick your heels and throw your hands. Robbie Maples, Tom Brady, Suns offensive line, defensively, Buffalo. We got Mike Basketball, Tarter, and Jim Dunaway, Rondo Joel. Mike Stratton, Paul Petrie, Aaron Jacobs, linebackers, Rich Baird, George Sines, Storm Pitts, Session. Buffalo ball at 20. Jack Camp at quarterback of Buffalo, like almost always. O.J. Simpson, yeah, remember him? A lot of people would say he who should have mentioned that have to mention Will David Moses, former Denver icon, with Bobby Crowder and Billy Masters. Mike Ritchie, Joe O'Donnell, Albert Miller, Billy Shaw, Paul Costa, offensive line, Houston's D-line, Alvin Mathias, Tom Douglas, Carol Stiff, and Pat Holmes, Garland Boyette, Olive Underwood, and George Webster at linebacker, Miller Farr, W.K. Hicks, and Houston.
First down. Touchdown, Oilers. The extra point is good. Flag on the play.
Play.
Encroachment.
Defense.
Defense.
Good.
Timeout. Offense. First down.
Buffalo, they do conference finals in New York. We caught them pick six. So Buffalo can't do their job. Who's next? Love to win. They got the outfield, Pete Bearhart and Canadian Rogerelli in there. Camp 20 for 30 for 41, 182 for interceptions. They kept OJ in Tennessee. That's their job. Now on to Kansas City. If San Diego beats Kansas City, then we know the 1969-70 team will make that AFL tournament because Kansas City, of course, was the representative. Ron Billingsley, Russ Washington, Bob Rich, Rick Redmond, Jeff Stakes, one of the linebackers, Speedy Duncan, Kenny Britton, Jim Hill, Bobby Howard. Touchdown, Dawson. Terry Owens, Ross Sweeney, Sam Ferguson, Bill Lake, Davis, and Jordan Ferguson, offensive line. NCA's D-line, Aaron Brown, Curly Cole, future Oiler, Buck McKinnon, Jerry Mays, Willie Lanier, Bobby Bell, and Jim Lynch, linebackers, Willie Mitchell, Johnny Robinson, and Thomas Williams.
Flag on the play.
Holding. Offense.
Touchdown, Chiefs. The kick is good.
Timeout. Offense.
Touchdown, Chargers. It's good. Flag on the play.
Encroachment. Defense.
The Chargers are out.
First down.
Flag on the play.
Offense. Timeout. Offense.
Oakland's gonna have to really clamp down. They don't get to game to touchdowns. Kansas City just had everything going up, tighten up for them to make sense. So that means Houston goes to New York, Kansas City to Oakland. Don Maynard, George Sauer, receiving the ball. Hudson Hale, Randy Rasmussen, John Schmidt, Dave Murphy, Roger Finney of St. Baltimore. Joe Philbin, Steve Thompson, John Elliott, Drew Nancy, and Uline, linebackers, Ralph Baker, Random, John Godfrey, Bill Graham, trying to keep this in 10 minutes.
First down.
Touchdown, Jets.
Holding. Defense.
Touchdown, Jets. Kick is good.
The second time in 3 years the Jets are thwarted by the Oilers. 3 touchdown day. 12 3 touchdown there. Elliott 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Maynard 115 receiving. Roy Jarrella, Roy from Saskatchewan. They did it. They are in the final. Houston now will face Kansas City or Oakland. If it's Oakland, then we know Houston, Oakland, the winner will go to that AFL mini tournament next video. Otherwise, and Houston will have to beat Kansas City. Partly cloudy. Monica beat Hero Dixon and Pete Benesack for your running backs. Fred Berlin, Cup, Warren Wells, and Roger Piper. Harry Shaw, Jim Harvey, Joe Lotto, Gene Upshaw, Bob Seabass, your offensive line. Healy, Aaron Brown, Trevor Hurley, I always say Charlie Brown. Bob Buchanan, Jerry Hayes. Linebackers, William Lanier, Bobby Bell, John Lynch. William Mitchell, Johnny Robinson, will be in the tournament because they've got to Super Bowl won it. So we know we have
First down.
Livingston 5 for 17. Nolan Dawson got hurt? Oh wow. Yeah, Otto had a fumble for a touchdown. Wilson had a fumble for a touchdown. Robinson for Kansas City. Barely touchdown. What happened to Nolan Dawson? Was he dead? Yeah. Well, alright. So Houston plays Oakland in Mile High. I don't know who to pick. Houston's got 2 teams in this mini tournament. Oakland's got 1. I really think it's Oakland.
Pass interference. Offense. Timeout defense. Timeout defense. Timeout defense.
Now we'll do it Oakland. So, what does this mean? Well, we will have to make a season tool and do a tournament. Random draw. Okay. And then we'll have AFL qualifying tourney. Select season. 60 AFL playoffs. That would be the Denver Broncos, who somehow snuck in because of technicality. 61 was the Houston Oilers and the San Diego Chargers. Houston stayed undefeated. That's why that team gets in. Houston 62. 63 Buffalo. 64 playoffs beat Kansas City. 65 playoffs, the Chargers get their name on the thing. Then it's 68 and 69 because the winners of the other 2 were teams that made them that are in anyway. Like the teams of 67, 66-67 and the 67-68 team. So we have 19 save championship venue. Well, I don't know. Los Angeles will get the host. Oh. So they've basically put the 68 and 69 teams against each other. I guess they get the 2 youngest to face each other, and then everyone else plays each other. So I'm guessing that the winner will face the 60 Broncos, 63 Buffalo will play 62 Houston, 64 Kansas City versus 61 San Diego, and 65 San Diego versus 61 Houston. I think that's what we'll see, unless they do something. So yeah, we'll have to the qualify. Well, we might as well just do the we might as well just have like autoplay the qualification game to make the quarterfinals. And it was the 68 squad winning because of Hewitt Dixon. So they will face the 60 Broncos. Those 68 Raiders. 63 Buffalo plays 62 Houston. 64 Kansas City versus 61 San Diego. And 65 San Diego, 61 Houston will face each other. Yeah, for Buffalo, Oakland, and Denver. Well, Houston and San Diego have 2 horses in the quarterfinal race. Well, Houston's got 2. Both those teams have to play at home, so we'll see what ends up happening. And Jeff, I'm going to do.